Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 11 of the Kimi Antonelli career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend for the second of Kimi's 2 home GP weekends. We return to the Temple of Speed at the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. If you missed out on the videos that went live out last weekend from the Belgian Grand Prix, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. We have a 39-point deficit to Paul Aaron in the championship. Just 4 race weekends to go of the campaign, so we need to average 10 points out of him in every single race now. So that's a tall order between now and the end of the season, but it does take one weekend where Paul Aaron doesn't end up inside the top 10 in qualifying, and then the tables can turn so quickly. We learned a lot about the car. We've learned that low downforce seems to be the way to go inside F224 as well. Please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We're trying to hit 140k by the end of the year, and yeah, let's head out then to the Italian Grand Prix. Well, here we are then, ready for qualifying once more, this time around at the fastest track that Formula 1 or Formula 2 has to offer. But Paul Aaron, he's taken 3 pole positions in a row in the last few Grand Prix. He'll be looking to try and make it a 4th this weekend, and as mentioned last time out as well in Belgium, every qualifying session between now and the end of the year is absolutely critical. We cannot afford to end up outside of that top 10 with work to do. We have just got to try and get it absolutely nailed. There was a little bit of oversteer through the exit of that first chicane. Got to be so careful off the curbing. We are running 0 wing, front and rear, that we couldn't run less downforce if I wanted to this weekend. So if we end up still losing time to the AI, then I'm really lost as to what we can do then. Nice and tidy through the second chicane. Joshua Dirksen, also with his OP Mechachrome engine, we would expect to see him right up towards the front of the order as we make our way through the Lesmos. Their nice run on the exit, try to carry that speed off of the corner. But you can see, I mean, we're barely 2-3 car lengths behind him, and the entire field is between us as we make our way down in towards the Ascara chicane though. Purple through sector 2, attack the curbs nice and tidy through the exit there, and that's a really nice run. So somehow still through the high downforce corners, we seem to just have the edge over the AI at the moment. 1 more corner to go. Is it going to be pole position for the first time since, I believe, Saudi Arabia, right back at the start of the season? Through the final corner we'll go nice and tidy on the throttle on the exit. I think our teammate Ollie Behrman, though, is just going to pip us as we drop down the order. We end up P7. Where did I lose all that time? Well, Ollie Behrman, the only driver to get under the 1 minute 31 mark. That being said, there were 9 cars covered by less than a 10th of a second at the end of the qualifying. Paul Aaron was one of those. He'll line up P3, ready for Sunday's feature race there. Jack Crawford is going to have the pole ready for this one. 22 cars, 3/10 of a second. This season has just been absolutely insane. But how is things going to go when the racing gets underway? The DRS, the slipstream, trying to judge when to go for moves is going to be very difficult. So let's head out there.
So today, the sprint race, no pit stops, just full on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today? Monza is situated 12 miles northeast of Milan. It's 3.6 miles long and offers 11 corners. 7 of those are chicanes, putting a premium on good braking stability and traction. With a good slipstream plus the other 2 DRS zones available, there should be a good number of passing opportunities on offer. Welcome to the Formula 2 commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alex Brundle joins us as ever for this. Alex, it's a sprint race. How's the format change going to affect the mentality of the drivers?
Well, you've got the grid reversed, giving some drivers who wouldn't normally get it the opportunity to take a win or a podium home. They're going to be looking to snatch that opportunity if at all possible.
Well, we might be pretty quick down the straights, but I think everybody else is going to be as well. We line up P4, though, ready for the sprint, and there's apparently wet weather halfway through, and then it's going to disappear again, so not too sure what to make of that one, but hopefully it isn't going to affect things too badly here. Only 11 laps make up this sprint race today, so it is going to be a fast race, and we just got to try and make our way past some of these other cars. It's 5 red lights down on the grid. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go. They're off to a fairly clean start. St. Maloney I believe, yeah, right down towards the bottom of the championship order still. He's got a good opportunity this weekend to try and score some points, as the Dams cars would immediately move up to P1 and 2. Look at Joshua Dirksen trying to go around the outside through those first couple of corners. And that's not exactly what I needed. We have gone straight round, and we got a red flag. I don't think anyone's damaged the front wing or anything, but I might have caused chaos there. Well, we're going to rejoin the action then, apparently halfway through this rain shower, so no idea what to expect when we go racing once again. There is a little bit of rain, but 5 red lights for the second time. And this time around, it is going to be lights out, and away we go there. And once again, we'll try and get a decent start down in towards turn 1. We are starting 1 row further back, though, as Isaac Hadjar able to make something happen, apparently, off that first start. This time around, we're going to try the outside line down at turn 1, but there is no grip on this circuit there, as we'll try and put the power down on the exit of the first corner. We will just about hook it up in the end, but the turbo lag on these cars is just absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, luckily it looks like that rain has stopped, but yeah, the circuit's still deceivingly slippery as we try and make our way down in towards that second chicane. Like I said, though, the goal this weekend is just to take 10 points out of Paul Aaron, so I need to try and beat him in both the sprint and the main event. And I'm hoping Ollie Behrman will be able to keep him at arm's length tomorrow. We've got a lot to focus on today, though. I would love to try and bag the full 10 points, maybe even 11, if we're a little bit lucky. But, as you can see, making our way down the straight, the AI there, Isaac Hadjar, he's closing in on me still. We are pushing as fast as we possibly can. We are running the quickest car we possibly can, and still the AI are able to go quicker. Well, Crawford then will lead at the end of, well, what would normally be lap 1. We're already on to lap 4, so I've managed to make the shortest race on the calendar even shorter, as there we go. Both the Dams cars running side by side back down in towards turn 1. So Juan Manuel Correa obviously took 2 sprint wins earlier on in the campaign. Would love to try and get another one, as immediately there, just a little bit of contact with Zane Maloney. I cannot get that turn 1 line nailed, and if we're at the DRS already, that's going to put us in a lot of trouble. But I really do feel like this weekend is going to be make or break for our championship hopes. If we can get the job done here, if we can take the 10 points that we need out of Paul Aaron, then I think we can carry that confidence into the last 3 weekends of the year. Of course, next up is going to be the return of Azerbaijan, so anything can happen around the Baku city streets. But yeah, as you can just see, though, those Dams cars at the front of the order going side by side quite a lot, definitely holding up everybody else. It's a 35.5 isn't actually a bad lap when you include the mistake we made. Eking our way back down towards someone. Still Hadjar and Bortoletto directly behind me. But as we move on to lap 5, then DRS will be enabled this time round. So we've got to try and get inside the range of those front runners by the time you make it through the first Lesmo. But I tell you what, those Dams cars at the front, both of them, yeah, really going for it early on. Obviously, Correa took a couple of wins in sprints earlier on in the campaign. I'm sure he'd love to add another trophy to his collection, but you can just see that time round we were still a few tenths further out than we needed to be against Zane Maloney. But if those top runners start battling it out a little bit more, so we are going to be under pressure from Isaac Hadjar as well, just behind me. So here goes the Campos man into the chicane, and unlike in F1, the F2 drivers don't seem to back out through that corner, so that's good to know for future reference as well. Gabriel Bortoletto, he needs a good result this weekend if he wants to try and get his championship hopes back on track. It's, you know, it's unlikely for him, but you can never fully discount him there, as, again, just outside that DRS range. We're going to be talking about that a lot this weekend, because it is pretty much everything around this venue. As there we go, first driver into the 33s, and somehow we were inside the DRS range, so I guess we'll carry that speed back into turn 1. Side by side, they're going to go at the front of the order. So we'll just try and keep it fairly tidy there. And finally, getting the line nicely through turn 1. And Jack Crawford, he just seems to be going backwards here. Well, as we cross the halfway stage of this GP, one Dams car up into first from P3 on the grid. The other one starting on the pole down to P3. So I just thought about having a look down the inside of the Barbados boy. These cars sit really nicely on the curbs, though, around this circuit. I will give them credit there. They seem to be pretty good at handling those sausage curbs around this circuit. Can we try and get a run on Zane Maloney now? Just see again, hanging the car on the exit. So despite the fact we're running no wing at all, we seem to actually be slightly better through the corners still than the AI. But you can just see down the back straight, almost 200 miles an hour, but still not really able to do anything. Our time is going to have to come on the exits of corners, as you can just see there, pulling alongside Zane Maloney now, down in towards the final corner. That's going to make our life slightly easier. His engine has gone in bang. So,
we're racing again. Let's go.
My first position made up in this race, and Zane Maloney, on a weekend where he desperately needs points, is not going to walk away with any. At the final corner, though, again, I mean, it is just going to be like NASCAR this race. Another new fastest lap temporarily for us, but Isaac Hadjar will say thank you very much. And here comes Joshua Dirksen, the Paraguayan, down in towards turn 1. Is he going to be able to hold on to that lead? He has a big lock up there. Puts some Pirelli down into the road, but he will move up to P1. And it is just a question of how bunched up will your top runners remain in this race. As here goes Correa thinking about a look on Joshua Dirksen. Oh, he does pull out the slipstream at the very last moment, but Dirksen says, yeah, good luck with that one, sunshine. As there's definitely still a little bit of moisture in the air as well. The circuit's still looking very, very overcast, so these are some of the weirdest weather conditions I think I've ever seen inside F124. But once again, can we try and get the run on one of these cars out of the final corner? We seem to have really good speed off of the turns everywhere else apart from that final one. We are still tucked right in the wheel tracks of Jack Crawford. As here goes Correa to the outside of Dirksen once again. Crawford might make it 3 wide. No, he's going to follow his teammate by in towards turn 1. We aren't quite there, so we're going to have to watch the show go down between the AIX and the Dams car. And again, try to manage our own turbo. It's like driving a 1980s Formula 1 car, this thing. It is ridiculous. Oh, again, Crawford there, just pretty much pushing him through the exit of Ascari. It is really, really difficult, though, to be able to do anything when you're just tucked up in the wheel tracks of the car in front, and where all of these cars are equal, and you can't use the battery or anything like that, because simply put, they just don't have it. Can be really, really difficult, actually, in Formula 2, as we've seen so many times this year. Most of the battle ends up being right at the front, because P1's the only car without the DRS. But lap times are slowly falling away as well, which is a bit of a shame, as here we go, Dirksen again. Crawford again will try to follow to the outside at turn 1. And this time round, it's going to be the Dams cars that go side by side through that first couple of corners. And once again, Crawford gets in the fight. The car on the inside through turn 1 is able to hang on. And then the guy that was P2 just waltzes away. I think I'm more impressed with is just how oddly spread out the AI have become in this race. There's definitely a few clusters further back that have kind of just strung themselves out. As again, you can just see getting the run on Crawford there off of the Ascari chicane. This is probably the one corner on the entire lap where we seem to have the margin over the AI. Side by side, but the American will go. Oh, we'll try and send it late on the brakes there, and I think Crawford just accepted that fight isn't worth having at the moment. 2 laps left of this sprint, and well, it feels a little bit like Silverstone in terms of kind of just waiting for the right moment. Just waiting for an opportunity to pounce. As here goes Correa again. Oh, he thought about it to the outside of Dirksen. Well, that time around, the Paraguayan will just cover him off down in towards turn 1. And just like Silverstone, we are in P3 at the moment. But I'm sensing there's going to be a battle for the win for us if we want to try and fight for the victory in this one. Oh no, Dirksen! Dirksen's gone, and suddenly... Oh, well, I was about to say if we want to fight for the win, but apparently the win has been thrown to us as we get to try and avoid Dirksen there. Correa decided to slow up behind him, and he might have the most powerful Mechachrome engine in Formula 2, but he also seems to have had the one with the least reliability. Either him, or I think it was Zane Maloney, wasn't it, earlier on, that retired from this race. But 1 lap to go, and suddenly everything has been turned on its head here at the Templar Speed as Juan Manuel Correa, 9 tenths behind us. Is he going to be able to try and snooker this victory away? Or finally, is Kimi Antonelli going to be able to win on home soil there? Let's wait and see what the run is like back down towards turn 1. Correa can't get close enough, so unless he can get a run out of the second Lesmo, he might be in trouble here and might be watching any hopes of victory this weekend immediately fade away from him there. I'm still going to try, a bit like we did back at Silverstone and Spa as well, just to see if we can push for fastest lap on this final one here, because now we've got some clear air. We might have lost the DRS, but I don't think we're going to have too much of a disadvantage either as we navigate our way through the chicane. Again, this car sits absolutely beautifully through those couple of corners. Up through Lesmo 1 will go, though, and I just don't think Correa's got an answer for us at the moment. As long as I don't do anything stupid, surely this win is coming back to Prema there. It's a little bit wide on the exit of the corner. But again, we seem to have just been able to get the drive down, get that power off of the turn. One more time through Ascari will go, braking at the 100-meter ball there. Tip the car in 4th gear, attack the curbs on the exit. And Ollie Behrman, he was able to win for Prema back at Imola earlier on in the campaign. We were a little bit gutted with the way that weekend went, but to kickstart the weekend here at the Temple of Speed, Kimi Antonelli, Prema's home weekend, his own home weekend as well. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, he will win at the Italian Grand Prix.
This has been a superb drive. It's victory for Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
It might not be the same points as the feature race, but it is the same podium, and they get to wave at the fans from it.
As we look back on a thrilling race here today, we can now see the drivers take their places on the podium. It's a familiar sight by now, as it's another successful F2 win for Prema.
Well, after the victory as well last weekend in the Belgian feature race, that is 2 in a row for Kimi Antonelli then. And the full 10 points from the sprint today, we can be very, very happy with that. Juan Manuel Correa comes through for P2 ahead of Jack Crawford and Isaac Hadjar in the end. Bortoletto, Paul Aaron, Barnard and Kushmaini will round out your point scorers. Not too sure what happened to Ollie Behrman to end up down in P15 when all is said and done. Shout outs to Richard Vasseur, who was really able to carve his way through the pack as well. There's Zane Maloney and Joshua Dirksen, your two that failed to see the checkered flag. But what does that do to our championship standings? Well, it means the gap to Paul Aaron down to just 32 points there. We've got a 29-point buffer over our teammate Ollie Behrman as well. And constructors-wise, 48 now, the gap to High Tech. Let's see what we can do tomorrow, though, when we return ready with the feature race. We know now where we can try and go for moves. It is not going to be easy. Thank you all so much for watching nonetheless. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure, leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back ready for the feature.